What is going on, everybody? How we doing tonight? Everybody doing great? Hope y'all enjoyed the Castlevania action. Shout out to Trey Watson, the great Trey Watson, for our new stream intro song, cover of the Twisted Sister classic, I Wanna Rock. Totally fits the vibe of what we do around here, right? We rock out. Y'all know what we do. We rock out. That's how we do around here. So, appreciate y'all being here. What up to everybody in the chat? I gotta look for something real quick. Hang on a second. I gotta get this going properly here. That was kind of a last second addition there. Me doing the new video intro there. It's not really all completely put together. So, where we at? My library. There we go. There we go. All right. We are proper now. Got the Grand Stream Saga soundtrack rolling. So, without further ado, how's everybody doing tonight? I've been looking at the chats. How we doing? Nelson, I don't know what I was thinking there. Nelson, Last Soldier, Ace. Got a lot of the usual suspects in here. Shadow Star, how you doing, Shadow Star? How we doing? Yeah, that was pretty cool, right? Shout out. John Q Gamer joining us in the chat tonight. Welcome, John. We watched your here. Get my music a little bit lower there. We watched your Big Theory video the other night on Final Fantasy VII Rebirth Remake Saga, your theory, and we all enjoyed it quite much. I enjoyed it quite a bit. So, excellent production value on your video. It was a great video. A lot of people talking about it. It's a big hit for you. I hope your channel's growing from it. Shadow Star, I am feeling better. My voice is still a little bit rough, but this too shall pass. Correct? This too shall pass. Turn that volume down a little bit. Alright, there we go. Alright, so, hope everybody's having a great day. Tuesday night, COFFMANITE is off and rolling. COFFMANITE Tuesday night. I should really market that properly, right? Lot of stuff happening out there in the world of gaming. Plus, it's the countdown to Halloween this week. If you all haven't seen some of my recent stuff, the poll that I put up on the channel, what third night of the week would you all like for me to stream? Saturday night won the poll. So I do work a double at my day job on Saturdays. So, but I will be back. I will be here on Saturday nights, starting 11 p.m. on Saturday nights, streaming away with you all. So, what's up, Orly? Zach, good to see you. Lenny, what up? How we doing? Again, big shout out to Trey Watson for that intro. He killed it. He sent that to me via text message last night while I was live on stream, and I'll let you all hear a little bit. I was like, oh, that's great. I'm working up a whole animation around it. So, Still have a light little cough from being sick. But content has been great. Thank you so much. I appreciate that. And frequent, right? And reliably frequent as well. I'm just reading through some of your chats here real quick. Big Uncle Ray, Big Unc is the best damn pre-stream DJ on the whole platform. Thanks, Ace. I appreciate that. A lot of effort goes into that content, as you know, so positive feedback has been amazing. Yeah, absolutely, man. You deserve it. Like, I've got a couple in the pipe about I'm trying to do more video cut-ins and stuff like that, but mostly what I do, I try to be conversational with people. I have people all the time, they've mentioned your video and a few others, like, why don't you do stuff like this? I'm like, I try. It's hard to do videos like that and put content out every day, so I have to be kind of conversational. But no, the video was great. And since I've got you in the chat, I have been telling people that I feel like all of us different theory crafters, not all of them, but different people have different theories. I think we're all kind of saying the same things, but we're saying them different. Like, I definitely think there's some kind of division going on, but my theory is more like this all exists within the live stream. Like, I feel like it's different pocket dimensions that have been created by the live stream to help people pass on, so that they go into the live stream like purified. But the division and the separation of Genova is within those pocket dimensions. Like, there are special pocket dimensions for her. But I'm working on a big video. I'm hoping to have it out in November, but who knows, man. But your video was great, dude. It was great. I especially love the stuff about the Genova things happening in that. It was really good. Really well thought out. Shadow Star, that was epic. Thank you. I appreciate that. Chilling with the parents. Hey, man. That's good. That's good use of your time. That's good use. Chilling with the folks. Always get that family time in when you can. Love your content. I watch it back when at the gym or doing other stuff when I have decent time to listen. Keep doing anything. Hey, I appreciate that, John. I appreciate that very much. Maybe we can do a video together and collaborate. Maybe we can do a video together soon and just bounce ideas off of each other. I think that would be kind of wild, man. Chat, how would you all like to see me and John Q Gamer do a bouncing ideas off of each other kind of video? Would you like that? If you would, throw the ones up in the chat. Channel members, throw the Rage and Ray up in the chat. Boom. Bear Sax Man. I really love the video editing and the video. Yeah, the video editing was so good, dude. That was one of the things I raved about the most when we were watching it. I was like, dude, this guy's video editing is killer. One in the chat. Nelson with his one in the chat there. It's official. We got to hook up now, John. We gotta make this happen now. I'm totally down. We gotta make that happen. Message me on the back end of my channel. We'll get something set up. We'll see what our schedules can make it work, and we'll get rocking on that, man, for sure. Bear Sax Man, welcome to the chat for the evening. We got 21 in the chat. Throw a like on the video if you would, the live stream. Let people know. You know how we do it around here. Let people know. Let YouTube, let the little robots at YouTube know that Uncle Ray's got the content. And you can let them know that by hitting the like on that video, so the robots go and then put it out to other people. I like to think that's how the little robot analytics robots work. I like to think that's how they operate. So it's probably not. It's probably not how they operate. Anyway. But yeah, so a lot of stuff happened today, man. But the thing I kind of want to focus on today is this Castlevania stuff happening. There's Castlevania stuff happening in 2025. Now, I know some stuff has come out since they leaked this picture earlier, this picture I'm gonna pop up right over here. Maybe, if I can. Boom. So they popped this picture up that you see up here in the left corner. Konami did. They put this picture up today. And they were like, posting 11. What's up, Chris? What up, Chris? I feel like there's something going on here. Like, I love the fact that we're getting a look at some of this old, like, concept work. You got Juiced Belmont. You've got, I mean, you've got characters from all these different games, but it seems like they're really focusing on the Game Boy Advanced titles and characters. You do have, is that Leon? Yeah, you do have Leon Belmont's sketch back there too. Is that Leon? Or is that Juiced Belmont? I can't remember. But could we get, hey, thanks for the sub, appreciate you. Gaijin in the chat, how we doing? Gaijin. That makes me think of Fushigi Yugi when they call the beast god and the priestess goes Gaijin. That's what it makes me think of every time I see your name. So it puts a smile on my face. I still got this damn runny nose from being sick. I'm trying to make a point, nose. Ugh. My nasal cavity won't let me get to the point. Anyway. Could we get the War of 1999? Could it be coming? Could it finally be coming? I think it could. I think it could. Like, if they give us the War of 1999, or even if they do something else, like if they go like more into the original game lore and not the Lords of Shadow stuff, which I liked Lords of Shadow, but it was Elseworlds stuff. Like, I like Matthias Kronkvist being Dracula. I like him being Dracula. I like that whole backstory, tying the Belmonts to him in that way. Oh, did you? Okay, see, you know what? I only saw the first Fast and Furious movie. I only saw the first one, so that's why my mind didn't go there. But yeah, I think we could be getting some crazy-ish for Castlevania. No time soon. We could get a tease for something maybe on Halloween or the day before Halloween, because Japan, it'll be Halloween in Japan on Thursday for us. So it's kind of like looking into the future, you know, seeing what they're doing in Japan. It is the future. It is the day after us. So it'll be interesting to see. Now, could we see something at the game? Like, you all know, I've been talking about and speculating about, you know, kind of reading the tea leaves and reading the winds, as it were, as far as like how Konami's structuring, releasing informations and tidbits and letting things out. Silent Hill, Metal Gear, back to Silent Hill. Silent Hill F's a success. Metal Gear, rumor about Metal Gear Solid 1 remake happening. Shadow Moses, right? All this other stuff, and then some little things start sneaking out the cracks about Castlevania. And I think this is a great time for them to capitalize on Castlevania. To be honest, gaming needs a return to Castlevania. And something like a strong Metroidvania title. I didn't mind the 3D Castlevanias, and honestly, Curse of Darkness is one of my favorite Castlevania games, if not my favorite. That being said, it's like, well, this guy's discounted. That being said, I want them to go back to Metroidvania. I want them to go back to classic Castlevania. And I took it a step further when we were talking about this about a month ago. I would remake Castlevania 1 and 2 as one game. I'd make it the whole Simon saga, Simon Belmont saga. I wouldn't make it like an arcade game like the first one was. And I would fix the issues with the second game. Like, you kind of do what Chronicles of the Wolf did. It seems like the game's over once you defeat the beast and you get through the village section, but then there's like a whole castle thing you got to do. You could do the opposite with Castlevania Simon's Saga. You could do the castle first. You get to the castle, you go through the castle Metroidvania style, and you think you've beaten it, and then 1 year later you wake up and he's coughing up blood and Simon's quest begins, and you go through the whole Wallachia countryside, and you do the whole deal. You go to the mansions, and then you put Dracula back together in it, and you send him back to hell. I think that would be amazing. Start to finish stream. That would be a start to finish playthrough for me. But who knows? We'll see. We'll see what they do. But yeah, this was interesting to me. This was really interesting today. In a day where I saw some rumors and stuff happening with a couple of other things. Konami items, of course. Capcom, I saw some more stuff coming out about Capcom. Some people I've talked to that were discussing how, you know, they're not really sure how Resident Evil 9 is going to be received. And that's part of the reason we haven't seen a whole lot. Now, I don't know how much truth there is to that. The two people that came to me today and talked about that. One person I talked to on the phone, one person I talked to on DMs. And the conversation on the phone just kind of turned into that. It was more of like a, hey, how's it going kind of conversation. But it kind of turned into that. And they're not really sure how well Resident Evil 9 is going to be received. I don't know how I feel about that. Because I feel like they're very confident they've got a good game. But that makes sense because they haven't shown but the same thing over and over again that I've been complaining about. Now, Resident Evil 9 pre-orders do go on sale tomorrow. Pre-orders are up tomorrow. And you would think they have to announce a special edition tomorrow. Like when pre-orders go up tomorrow, because you can't have people pre-order a game and then a month and a half later, like the Game Awards, announce like a collector's edition. Because then people are going to have to cancel that pre-order and get their collector's edition pre-order. It's a mess. So I feel like if there's going to be a collector's edition, it's gotta come out tomorrow with the pre-orders, right? I mean, do you all agree with that? That's how I feel about it. So, but we'll see. I mean, I feel like that's what kind of needs to happen. But I mean, again, we'll see. We'll see what happens. I am hopeful for Resident Evil 9. Whew, excuse me again. I am very hopeful for Resident Evil 9. And I don't need to see the whole game. I just want to see a little gameplay. I just want to see more than just being chased by a thing. Because Resident Evil stalkers are hit and miss. Like, Mr. X in 2, for me, is probably the best that they've done for the remakes. Yes, exactly. Yeah, so I think if they're going to do a collector's edition, they kind of have to announce it tomorrow. Because otherwise you're going to have people canceling their pre-orders and pre-ordering the collector's edition, they cancel their old pre-order. You save that whole mess by just showing it tomorrow, whatever, let people make their own decisions on that. So, depending on what time they go live tomorrow too, that's a big deal too, because I hope it's not when I'm at work. And depending on what the pre-order bonus is. Now, here's the thing. And the reason I talk about the pre-order stuff, and this is what I was trying to get off of the person that I was on the phone with today. I was trying to be slick, and I was trying to like get them to tell me who the other character is going to be in Resident Evil 9. Because this is exactly what I said to her. I said, yo, so when pre-orders go live tomorrow, are we going to get Grace, or are we going to get the other person announced as the pre-order? And she goes, oh, you slick MF. She almost told me. But anyway, neither here nor there. So I think it'll be very telling if there's no collector's edition announced tomorrow that Grace or the monster are not the statue with the collector's edition. I think it'll be very, very telling. And I think it'll give us an idea of which way they're leaning, because you can't make the pre-order. Well, I guess you could. Like, the pre-order for Village was Chris, and he was not the main focus of the game. So no, I think Nelson, good question. I'll clarify. I think they're looking at a lot of fan reactions online, which I think have been mostly positive. I think they've been mostly positive, except for a few hayseeds like me that are just like, oh, I need to see more. Oh man, I don't know what they're doing, you know. Or maybe it is something internal. I mean, I don't know. So I don't know that they were 100% sure they wanted to go back to Raccoon City. I don't know. Because I know they were debating on a couple of different places they could take the game for Part 9. But I think it's brilliant. Like, you know, showing a ruined Raccoon City. I think that's pretty cool, you know. And all the other dangers and hazards that could be there, you know. What infected homeless people might be there, you know, because if you've got like a place like this in the Midwest United States, there's going to be a lot of homeless people that make a home there or whatever. But if there's still monsters dwelling around, those people aren't normal anymore. They've been bitten, they've been infected. It's probably just a completely quarantined zone with some random straggler type people in there. Anyway, now I'm spitballing ideas, and that's not what I'm trying to do right now. But basically, we're going to see if there's any kind of fanfare around this pre-order announcement tomorrow. If we get a collector's edition, if maybe we get some new shots. I did appreciate seeing the new shots of the back streets of Raccoon City in the stuff from Tokyo Game Show that we stayed up till 4 in the morning to watch. Some giggly person play the same demo we've seen about 100 times now. But I will say this. The atmosphere looks like it's going to be great. I just need to see something else. You feel me? Like, I'm not out on the game. I'm not hyped like I was. But that doesn't mean I'm not looking forward to the game. I'm looking forward. It's day one. It's Resident Evil. It's going to be day one for me. I wasn't even sure if I'd like Village, to be honest. And then I loved Village. Loved Village. I think I'm going to like 9. Especially since they really did well with the third person. Like, it doesn't feel like an afterthought. It feels like it was intended to be in the game like that. So I think tomorrow will be telling. Be pretty odd if Grace isn't that statue, honestly. Yes, exactly. That's my point, Zach. That's my point. That is my point entirely. Yeah. And again, I want to reiterate that I don't need them to show me the whole game. I just wish if that was all they planned to show for a little bit before the Game Awards, I wish they had waited to show it. You know what I mean? Like, I get that Summer Games Fest wanted a big surprise for the end. I would have been fine with them to wait until like right now, like right around now, like right around Halloween, to show the Resident, like do a Capcom Presents on their own platform, or do a State of Play, or, you know, some kind of thing like that, and then just show it like closer to the Game Awards, and the Game Awards will get like the cool new trailer thing or whatever. And because they have done what they've done, you're getting higher expectations. I mean, we'll see. Like, my expectations have been lowered, but I hope, like, and I don't feel like it's a thing. I feel like I need to be proven wrong. It's just me personally, you know. I think, you know, knowing how marketing works and everything, I feel like they pulled the trigger on showing that trailer too early, or revealing the game too early. That's what I feel like. At the end of the day, I'm fine they haven't shown anything else. Really, I wish they had waited longer to reveal the game. You see what I'm saying? I guess that's my whole thing. And my hype for the game has waned a little bit. Because once they announce the game, well, then you've got expectations We're seeing things and hearing things about combat, how certain characters are going to play, how is Grace going to play. She's going to feel like she has some training, but she's not going to be as trained as Jill or Leon or Chris, obviously. How is she going to react to these things? How's she going to react when she comes across a licker? If there's any lickers in the game, I hope there are. Or a hunter. What if there's some kind of like mutated version of like a hunter? They were just up the road in the woods at the Spencer Mansion. They were just up the road, so hunters could be around. Could be around. And I think the hunters are more terrifying than the lickers anyway. That's just me, though. That's just me. Again, I'm weird. I'm weird, man. That's why y'all are here. I'm weird as hell. So... yeah, well, that's the thing. I think if the statue... well, here's the thing, too. Ethan Winters, you never saw his face. He was just supposed to be you in the game, you know? Like Johnny Everyman. He wasn't supposed to be like a pivotal, poignant character. But they kind of had to go in that direction with him in 8 because of the nature of the story. And I thought... I liked Ethan in the last 10 minutes of Resident Evil Village. I never liked him before that. Period. At all. Didn't care about that character. Ever. Until the last 10 minutes of Resident Evil Village. And he made the dad sacrifice. He dadded up. He dadded up. And saved his family at the cost of his own life. That's big dad energy right there. Big dad energy. True alpha dad stuff, and I loved it. So, but before that, I didn't care about Ethan. I was like, he's just there. I can't see him. I don't relate to him. I don't care about him. Grace is different. Like, Grace Ashcroft is different. You see her. Like, you can see her reactions. You can see her emoting. You can see they want you tied to her personal struggle that's going on with it. So they're going all in on this character. So for her not to be a pre-order bonus statue... If they even do one, they may not do one, but if they do one and it's not her, that's kind of telling. That's kind of telling that they weren't all in on the character. Yeah. Yeah. So... and plus, knowing that it's set in Raccoon City now, the ruins of Raccoon City, like, I have always, as a fan, just been like, what did they do with Raccoon City? What's left? Like, for years, I've been like, what's left of Raccoon City? You know? And so, when they showed that trailer, like, and they showed the big crater in the ground, I remember watching it live when we were all hanging out here on the stream, and I was like, I didn't want to put my foot in my mouth, but I was like, oh shit, is this Raccoon City? You know, oh my god, it's Raccoon City. They did it, you know, and I got so excited. I got so excited. So excited. And then nothing. Nothing. Until right now, in this moment, nothing. Got that demo, got people playing that demo. They released the demo because they knew once people started playing it at shows, there would be no way to keep that demo off the internet. So they shared that demo. I think they just pulled the trigger on everything way earlier than they wanted to. That's the feeling I get. But tomorrow's going to be a big day for Resident Evil 9. So we're going to see tomorrow, and we'll be able to make definitive, like, conclusions about where things are. Like, if there's no collector's edition announced tomorrow, Grace is not the collector's edition statue, because they will do a collector's edition. They will absolutely do a collector's edition. They don't not do them. Hell, they did one for Resident Evil 3. And that game was balls. So Capcom didn't even develop 3 in-house. So we'll see. We'll see. But anyway, also, something that I did see grazing an article today, the HD 2D remake of Dragon Quest II, apparently, I don't know if you all read this or not, the company is keeping streamers from showing past the end of the first credits reel, because apparently, and this is what people are speculating, there's going to be some kind of major huge surprise during that post-credit scene for the Dragon Quest 2D HD remaster or remake. You all know where my brain went. You already know where my brain's going, and I'm going to be dead wrong, and you all feel free to laugh at me once it turns out to not be the damn case. But I would love for Chrono to show up like a time travel scene, and then Luca come out with, oh, wrong spot, and then boom, they just go back. I would love to see that. I would love to see, because it's Akira Toriyama's artwork. It's Toriyama's artwork. I would love to see a tease for a Chrono Trigger remake. Good God, let it happen. What up, Faith Giant? How we doing? Yeah. So, yeah, John, that was part of the rules that they published. So, let the speculation begin on what that's going to be. This is going to be a big week for games that are coming out for a guy who still has to finish Evil East Chronicles. Still got to get that done. We got Dragon Quest 2 and 3 HD remake coming out. We got Tales of Xillia remaster coming out. Tales of Xillia is goated to me. It is goated. Goated. That's the best Tales game. That's my favorite Tales game. Tales of Arise is up there. Tales of Arise is way up there. That was a great game. But Tales of Xillia, just anytime I go back and play, if I plug in my PS3 or I play a emulator of it, like it's like going back and visiting old friends. It is. It's like going back and hanging out with old friends. Like the whole party, the whole crew. Even Rowan's stiff like prim and proper ass. All of them. Yeah, Shadowstar, absolutely. Resident Evil, the thing that sets Resident Evil apart from other horror franchises is the characters. That's why it drives me absolutely bonkers whenever they do some live action Resident Evil and they'll come out and say, well, we're not using the characters from the games. Well, then you're not making Resident Evil. Like this new Zach Cregger movie coming out. Like, the only way, and I haven't made a video about this, but I'm going to go ahead and say it. The only way, I think, not using the Resident Evil characters and having the Resident Evil Zach Cregger movie that he's working on. If you all know, he's the guy who did that new Weapons movie and everything. The new Hollywood trend of making a horror movie with kids disappearing, getting killed, and stuff like that. He's that dude. You know, he did that Weapons movie and all that kind of thing. The only way that movie is going to be great is if it is in the Arklay Mountains before Bravo Team goes in to investigate the area and stumbles upon the Spencer Mansion. Like the tale of some people that just live up there or just out camping or whatever and come across a random zombie, a couple zombie dogs, maybe a hunter or something like that, and make it suspenseful, make it dark, make it real, like visceral. Like for me, that's the only way it can work if you don't use the Resident Evil characters, because the Resident Evil characters are what make Resident Evil what it is. So, and you all know, say it with me. Every time, say it with me wherever you're at. Every time a director wants to make their vision of Resident Evil, it's ass. It's hot, steaming, hairy, grass and hay stuck between the cracks. Ass. And I don't want to hear another word about it. Well, did you see Welcome to Raccoon City? That's what I'm thinking of right now. That movie was ass. And I got no bones about putting it out there. All of the Wes, what's his name? The guy that had the first crack at it. Mila Jovovich's husband. All but 5 minutes of the second movie were terrible. There was 5 minutes in that second movie where Jill Valentine, my favorite Resident Evil character, is walking through that church. She's walking just like Jill. You could tell Sienna Gilroy played the games. She studied, at least she studied video of it. She was walking just like Jill, And they had an angle on her that was right out of the game. Resident Evil 3. Angle right on her. And she comes up on that priest, that zombie priest. That was the best 5 minutes of live action Resident Evil that's ever been produced. Period. Like, if they could have taken that snapshot and told other directors, this is what we want. But no, they're just cashing those checks, man. So hopefully Zach Cregger makes a good Resident Evil movie that's like a prequel to Resident Evil or something, because that's the only way I can see it working. Yes, rest in peace Akira Toriyama. That would be a nice tribute to Akira Toriyama, absolutely. Tales of Arise is, I think I gave that a 4.5 out of 5, 9 out of 10. I would give Tales of Arise 9 out of 10. It falls apart a little bit at the end, but the whole quest is so fun and so good. The characters are so great. Like, that's what Tales does right. Their characters are just good. Like, I really enjoy their characters. Tales of Arise falls apart a little bit at the end, but I'd give it a 9 out of 10 just because it was such a great experience. At a time when Square Enix wasn't putting out a ton of great experiences. Like, their best games did not have Final Fantasy in the title. Matter of fact, Star Ocean, the Divine Force, if you take Final Fantasy VII, anything with Final Fantasy VII in the title, if you take those off the board, Star Ocean, the Divine Force is the best game Square Enix has put out in 15 years. For real. For real, for sure. But Tales of Arise was really good. I liked it. Project Triangle Strategy was good. Unfortunately, it's called Triangle Strategy. And everybody's like, what the hell is this? It's like a board game? Nobody knew what it was. Nobody cared. But Triangle Strategy had a good story. Had some pretty good characters. But it kind of got boring after a while. Which should never happen with a Square Enix made strategy game. Playing Chrono Trigger as you speak. Hey Josh, there you go. That's a real one right there. That is a real one. Could you tease Chrono Trigger in the upcoming Elliot game too? That looks to involve time travel. Yeah, like, well, Tales of Elliot pissed me off when I saw it because I was like, look, this is Chrono Trigger. Why are you doing this? You've got Chrono Trigger, you know? It's Chrono Trigger meets The Legend of Zelda: A Link to the Past. And for those of you that know me, either through the YouTube channel or personally, you know that speaks to my heart. Forever, Chrono Trigger and Legend of Zelda: Link to the Past were solidly in my top 3 all time. A Link to the Past is the best Zelda game ever made. Ever made. They just don't make games like that anymore. And yeah, I sound like the old heads saying, oh, they don't make them like that anymore, but they really don't. Simplistic enough gameplay with great puzzles that you can play over and over and over and over again. And you get a sense of accomplishment, a sense of achievement, a sense of fulfillment every time you finish a dungeon. Breath of the Wild, man, I'm like, this is Ni no Kuni, dude. This is Ni no Kuni without the cool Pokemon aspect to it. I don't like Breath of the Wild or, what's the second one called? I don't even remember. Yeah, I don't care for the new Zelda games. The last great Zelda game for me was Twilight Princess. Surprised how well the Outer Worlds 2 is being received. Obsidian might be semi-back. Yeah, I don't know much about it. Oh yeah, Breath of Fire, dude. You hope Capcom gets off their butt with that one soon. I hope. Weather is perfect for nostalgia remakes and RPGs. Yes, dude. Yes, bring it on. Nostalgia, i.e. the good shit. The good shit. Well, I think the Dragon Quest stories are a different animal. Like they're a very different animal. They are. Dragon Quest is more about the overall adventure of the tale, whereas Final Fantasy is more like direct. Once you figure out the mystery of what the villainous force is that's trying to destroy the world, you're just going after that villain with direct ferocity. And Dragon Quest is a little more broad than that sometimes. I'm not saying one's better than the other as far as storytelling goes, but there are different devices they use to tell their stories, and you're either into it narratively or you're not. I don't fault people. I get people all the time, Josh, they're like, you know, I just can't get into Dragon Quest. And there's a few Dragon Quest games that I just can't get into either. I loved 8. I loved 7. I tried to be deep into 10, and I just wasn't holding me. 10, I think the last one was 10, I think. It just wasn't holding me, or 11. I can't remember what the last one was. But it just wasn't. I tried to play it a few times, I just wasn't into it. I loved the old Saturday morning cartoon for Dragon Quest, though. Dragon Warrior. The real one's no Dragon Warrior. That's right. Dragon Warrior. Oh yeah, dude. Yeah. I might every now and then pull that cartoon intro up and watch it. Might be something I do from time to time. You never know. When I'm bored, I fall down the YouTube vortex. Might happen from time to time. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Star Ocean, the Divine Force is amazing. Like, so much so that when I was playing, before Rebirth came out, I was playing through Star Ocean, the Divine Force. They're wide open zones. I was like, if Rebirth just does this, we're good. I was like, if Rebirth just copies and mimics the Divine Force, we're solid. Like, for real. Yeah, exactly. Dragon Quest is written to be high fantasy, for sure. Star Ocean 2 was dope. The rest are garbage. That is an incorrect assessment, sir. That is an incorrect assessment, Joshua Coons. I cannot abide such slander on this channel. I am sorry. Star Ocean: The Divine Force is goated. Is goated. Star Ocean Till the End of Time, Star Ocean 3 is goated. Arguably the best PlayStation 2 RPG they ever made. Ever made. Arguably. The grind and the gameplay in Till the End of Time are still copied to this day by current gen standards. Miss me some old Zelda, man. Tears of the Kingdom, that's what it's called. Thank you, Byron Saxman. Yeah, it just doesn't jive with me. Just doesn't jive with me. Breath of Fire 4. One of the best games most people will never play. Yeah, Josh. Like, it was your first time through Link to the Past? Dude, man, that game is... like, so good. So good. I still, like, check it out. Like, I still break out my copy of Link to the Past. This is a cherry copy, by the way. I still break out my copy and just look through the game guide that came with it. Like, this bad boy, you talk about don't make them like they used to. Got that map. Got that map and everything with it. Look at this, man. Character bios. Comes with a little story in the opening. Look at this incredible book. Look at this incredible book, man. That's not nostalgia. That's better. That's not nostalgia. That's superior. Superior. Same deal with Chrono Trigger. Boom. Same deal. No, I can't get it back in here. There we go. There we go. Okay. Yeah, dude. My Chrono Trigger's cherry too, dude. Nostalgia equals that shit was good. That's why we still remember it so fondly. And the thing about nostalgia is you can boot those up and they're still great. Yeah, my Chrono Trigger got the maps. Even still got the old Nintendo Power inserts with it. Got the warranty form and everything in there. Yeah, dude. Chrono Trigger for the win. Classic Super Nintendo era gaming for the win. For the win. Kidding me? Yes, sir. But I digress. Sorry, off topic. If they do make another title after FFR3, would you rather it be a DLC or a standalone title? I reckon it would be cool if they do. You know, if they make a title and not DLC. Like, I think the DLC should be like Advent Children and Dirge. Dirge takes place after Advent Children, and I think a standalone title should take place after Dirge of Cerberus, like Final Fantasy VII Part 2. Not Remake 1, Remake 2, Rebirth, Redemption, Remake 3, whatever they call it, but Final Fantasy VII Part 2. And it should wrap up the story, because people have been talking to me since I put some of those videos up a few weeks ago about the sequel and everything. They're like, well, that's out of nowhere. I'm like, no. It's been a thing for about 20 years. Like in 2005 or 6, whenever Dirge came out, that extra scene at the end sets up Genesis. Sets him up. Crisis Core, the reason for Crisis Core was not to give Zack his own game. It was to establish Genesis as the villain. It was to establish this new villain in that world and his connection to Sephiroth and Zack, and the story is told through Zack's eyes. That's the point of Crisis Core. That was going to set up the sequel to Final Fantasy VII, and then they had the idea to possibly remake Final Fantasy VII, and that got lost in the shuffle between, you know, Final Fantasy 13 and the fallout from 12's supposed failure. And all the stuff they had going on, Kingdom Hearts things, it got lost in the shuffle. And then, lo and behold, the Final Fantasy VII Remake project's announced. I still think, and I don't know if this is true or not, I still think Final Fantasy VII Remake, when they first was like, let's announce it at E3, I bet dollars to donuts that was originally going to be one game. I would almost venture to guess that was going to be one game. And then when they brought it back in-house and the development hell began, and it took a long time to hear anything else about it, I feel like that was going to be one, maybe two games. And then they made the decision to split into three. But anyway, Final Fantasy VII Part 2 will deal with Genesis. It'll be its own standalone game, all that kind of stuff. Final Fantasy VII Part 2. Yeah. So that's what I think. Top 3 games on Super Nintendo. I'm so sorry. We talking about Super Famicom or Super Nintendo? Super Nintendo, I will say Chrono Trigger, Link to the Past, Final Fantasy VI, UN Squadron. UN Squadron was dope as hell. Don't sleep on it. Don't sleep on it. You could also throw Super Metroid and Castlevania 4 in there. Mega Man X. There are a lot of honorable mentions, but like if you had asked me 15, 20 years ago, best Super Nintendo games, I probably would have told you Chrono Trigger, Link to the Past, Mega Man X. But over the years, Final Fantasy 6 or 3 has slipped up the ranks for me. I would say Final Fantasy 6 is in there now. But if you're going Super Famicom, I would say Chrono Trigger, Treasures of the Rudas, Treasure of the Rudas, and A Link to the Past. For those of you that don't know about Treasure of the Rudas, go look that up. That's one of the greatest, probably the greatest game you will never play. The greatest game you will never play, Treasure of the Rudas. Easily, hands down, the best spellcrafting system ever made in a video game. And it was the last game of the Super Nintendo era for Square Enix. I won't get into it tonight. I'll let you look into it on your own, but it was friggin' amazing. I got a chance to play an emulator of it about 10 years ago. Man, it was peak Super Nintendo. But they were already developing Final Fantasy VII at that point, and they couldn't put a lot into it. But dude, yes, absolutely. Final Fantasy VII or Final Fantasy V is one of the greatest Final Fantasy games. The story lacks a little bit for me to make it into my top 3 or even my top 10 Super Nintendo games. But the character designs, the artwork, it's like Yoshitaka Amano, for me, his best character design work outside of the Vampire Hunter D series. Oh yeah, they definitely... Hey Darth Magus, how's it going? Welcome. Chris McDaniel, what's up? How we doing? My man in the chat tonight. FF6, Chrono Trigger, Lufia 2. Oh yeah, I know you love Lufia 2, man. We're still on the hunt for you. Secret of Mana is incredible. Those are all great games. No, I never played the After Years. I have watched some YouTube videos on the story fallout from that, but I've never actually gotten my hands on a copy to play. UN Squadron. Yeah, UN Squadron, baby. That's right. I'm glad somebody remembered that one. Thank you, Orly. Let me see if I can do a thing. Hang on. Oh, I can't do a thing. I can't do a thing. Oh well. I was trying to do something, wouldn't let me do it. Treasures of the Rudas is a Squaresoft game. That was Squaresoft. Terranigma, absolutely. It's probably my 6 or 7, dude. It's probably my 6 or 7. The great Masanori Hikuchi was the composer for Terranigma. Chris, if you know, you know why I would be mentioning that name. I will keep it to myself for now. Final Fantasy V job system was amazing. That was when they were figuring it out. That was when they figured it out. 4, they really started figuring it out. 3, 4, 5, they really hammered it home. X-Death was a super dope villain, and for years, until One Winged Angel, like Battle on the Big Bridge was like my favorite boss theme. Like when you're fighting Gilgamesh on the Big Bridge in Final Fantasy V. Oh, dude, killer. And X-Death, dude, X-Death, that's my kind of villain. That's my kind of villain. This totalitarian horror show. You know, I mean, not a pontificating Kefka-esque villain, but no, just I'll murder you. Like that, that type of villain, you know, that type of villainy. Terra Enigma is really, really good. Playing that on my phone via... Oh, nice. Yeah, love for the Terra Enigma. And that trilogy. That whole trilogy is good. 37 people in here and only 15... Hey, Josh. I like where your head's at. Smash that like button for your boy. For Uncle Ray, your big unk. Throw a like on the video. Mucho apreciado. Thank you, Faith Giant. As always, we're running the Grand Stream Saga soundtrack. Miyoko Kobayashi teaming up with Masanori Hikachi, the actual composer of Terra Enigma. He oversaw the composition of the Grand Stream Saga's music, and the great Miyoko Kobayashi, who did a lot of SNES PS1 era style RPG music. This is one of my favorite soundtracks of all time. It's very nostalgic for me, personally, because I found the Grand Stream Saga at a very difficult time in my life, and it gave me a place to escape to. So it is forever going to be an important game to me. I've still got my original copy of Grand Stream Saga that I found in the Kmart, in the middle of the old sliding glass doors at the game stores, at the retail stores and electronics. They had the sliding glass doors. They would always come off the track, and the worker would be like, and have to get in there and open the... I saw a copy of the Grand Stream Saga on clearance for $10 in the bottom of the case at Kmart in 1998 or 99, I think it was, and picked it up. It was start to finish. The game never came out of my PS1 until I finished it. It took me like a week or two because of working and stuff. Game never came out of my PS1 the whole time. It was the game that made me take Final Fantasy VII out of my PS1. I went from Final Fantasy VII to the Grand Stream Saga. And then I got into Final Fantasy Tactics and some other stuff. But yeah, man. Special place in my heart, that one. Genesis Kid. Genesis had some good stuff, man. Don't sleep on Genesis. Sega Genesis had some great games, dude. The Valis trilogy, Valis 1, 2, 3. I think there was a Valis 4, but I think that was on Super Nintendo. But Valis 1, 2, and 3 were incredible. Incredible on Sega Genesis. Castlevania Bloodlines, one of the best Castlevania, or New Generation if you were in Europe, one of the best Castlevania games ever made. The gameplay and the handling of that game is rock solid, dude. Super tight controls. Really takes the whole Mega System, the 32-bit Mega Drive, or whatever the Sega Genesis 32-bit was, used every bit of that system to play that game, and it was a beautiful game. Sega Genesis had excellent games. Gilgamesh. Gilgamesh. Not to be confused with the amazing Japanese rock band Gilgamesh. I didn't get to him as Stranger of Paradise, but it's really cool that they added him into Final Fantasy VII. Oh, did you finish Ghost of Yote, Chris? I want to play it, but my backlog is like, it's like a wall right now. And plus all the other work I have to do. Buried, but in the best way. Five in progress JRPGs means you're good until about May. So I've got 5 to 6 JRPGs I'm trying to get through. We'll see you in June. We'll see you in June. Bring your report in June on all 5. What games do you got logged in right now? Oh yeah, like there's just something special about that 90s era of video game music, especially fantasy video game music. It's just, they were just doing whatever they wanted, man. It was so trippy. They were doing whatever they wanted. It was full experimentation. Now everything's got to sound like Howard Shore. I'm like, nah, man, let's get back to the synth. Let's get back to some Mitsuda era Chrono Cross experimentation, He went full experiment mode on Chrono Cross. That soundtrack is incredible. One of my favorite game soundtracks of all time. Yasunori Mitsuda, one of the GOATs. He is on the Mount Rushmore of video game composers for me. Gunstar Heroes. What about Rystar? What about Rayman? Comic Zone. Earthworm Jim. Whoa, Nelly! I always joked that in Chrono Trigger, when you race the rooster in the future, I was like, that's the dude you race in Earthworm Jim. It's the same guy you're racing in Earthworm Jim. He's like a multi-dimensional being. He's like a god. He stretches across platforms and genres to show up to race whoever's there. The Sega Mini's got great games on it. I was really disappointed with not the games on it, but the Super Nintendo, the Mini Super Nintendo, because they didn't make enough of them. Like, it was almost like it was a premium, you had to register for it kind of thing. I never got one. I felt really bummed about that. It would just be sitting on my shelf with my Mini NES right there, because I've got all those games on emulator, but still, throw me a bone. Let me get one. Gaijin. That's why you're goated, Gaijin. Chrono Cross is legit. Chrono Cross is one of the greatest games ever made. But that was like from an era when every 3 weeks to 4 weeks you had to have $40-50 in your account because Square Enix was putting out a must-buy game. Like every 3 to 4 weeks from, I'd say, late 97 to like 2000. There was a must-buy game coming out from Square Enix. And Capcom. Konami would have a few coming out here and there, not as much as Square Enix. Square Enix was pumping back then. I swear to God, they had a template. They had a template on how to build a great JRPG and just pumped one out every month. For like 2.5 years. About 2000, they started falling off a little bit. But I think that's also when Sakaguchi kind of got out of, main development for a lot of their titles. Toe Jam and Earl, yeah. Beyond Oasis. I never played Beyond Oasis. I think we've talked about it before, Chris, but I don't think I ever played it. Battletoads X Double Dragon. The team up. Altered Beast. Dude, Altered Beast was a quarter sucker for me at the arcade. I blew so many quarters on that game. Yeah, I won't be able to keep up with the chat. Well, I'll be like one of those streamers who's like, just sits here for 5 minutes and they're staring at the chat trying to find like a topic to zone in on, right? Until that day comes, which I'll be super cool when that day comes. I'll be cool with it, but I'll still make sure to keep the OGs top of mind. Oh, dude, Lion D, that is amazing. That's what I like to hear. That's what I like to hear. And don't sleep on also the space shooters, the side-scrolling space shooters from that era. Gradius and Zone. There was another one starting with an X. I can't remember it. But Gradius, R-Type. R-Type was killer. Also remember the comics that used to be in the back of Nintendo Power. I think there was an R-Type comic. There was a Link to the Past comic. The comics in the back of Nintendo Power, there has to be an anthology made. Nintendo had to have made an anthology with all of those Nintendo Power comics or manga in there. Those were incredible. I got Nintendo Power every month just for the comics that were in there. If I just had half of my Nintendo Power collection, oh my God. God, I would just sit here and just thumb through them. I don't know much about Blitz. I don't know much about him. Of course, I know what people come and tell me or whatever, but I've had DM conversations with him a couple of times. He seems nice, seems cool enough, but we've never collaborated. I've never really watched his content, and I don't think he's ever really watched my content or anything like that, but I've talked with him a few times in DMs or whatever. Streets of Rage. What horror game would you remake Unk Ray? I would like to see what the creatures, demons from Shadow Man would look like. Nightmare Creatures. Not even a second thought. I would remake Nightmare Creatures. Full stop. Full stop. The Nightmare Creatures has an atmosphere and a vibe and a chill to it that I've never seen a game match. Just does. Like, these unexplainable just monsters coming after you and just horrific. Like, you would probably watch it now and they're not very scary because of the graphics of the time, but the other night on stream I played some of the soundtrack from Nightmare Creatures. Word. Frederick Mott, the composer of Nightmare Creatures, I would remake Nightmare Creatures and I'd bring him back to score it. The second one had Rob Zombie score it, and it just didn't hit the same to me. Just didn't hit the same. Hang on a second. Now you got me. Now you got me. You know what we're about to do. You know what we're about to do. It is Halloween. Let's get it. Let's pull this Nightmare Creatures soundtrack up. Nightmare Creatures. Where is it? Listen to this. This is the Nightmare Creatures soundtrack. Yo. Nightmare Creatures is the shit. Don't even play. Don't even play, man. Let me tell you what. Me and my boys, when this game came out, like, this is just the first level. Every level has a different score. This is just the first level. You're walking through like a graveyard. And these things are coming out of nowhere. And all you hear is the sounds of the beasts. And this. That's it. I love that little bass. That little bass line. Boom, 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 boom. Me and my boys, when this game came out, we used to go camping. And like, we played Resident Evil, Silent Hill, we played all that stuff. And that stuff didn't get to us. But we would, and this is true shit. Like, if I ever have Brian or Diesel or anybody in the chat, they'll confirm this for you. We would lean over to each other and just go boom, 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 boom. And the person we were doing it to would just look straight ahead and go, don't even fucking play with me right now. And get real serious, like, don't do it. Don't. Because it was like, you'd be out there just in the dark, under the stars, out in the woods, camping. It's like, don't do it right now, man. I will get in my car and leave. I will leave. That was what it did, man. And that soundtrack is goated. Oh, Josh, that sucks, man. What up, Rick Meraki? Nightmare Creatures. Yeah, they used a lot of like lore that happened in the real world. The Chicago fire. There was there was the London fire too, I believe they used, and some various riots from big cities like the late 18th to early 19th centuries or whatever it was, or late 19th to early 20th centuries. It used a lot, and it went into Aleister Crowley. Like, it was like the villain of Nightmare Creatures is the real Aleister Crowley, the like Satanist you know, and you're a priest and like a warrior, like looking for Aleister Crowley before he turns London into like a city of the dead, like for the glory of Satan and all this kind of stuff. Like, dude, it's so visceral. It's so good. Just an absolutely incredible storytelling. And Nightmare Creatures doesn't get the love it deserves, man. It just doesn't. Let me see if it's got it. Westminster Roofs. This is probably one of my favorite boss songs of all time. Treat. A treat on Uncle Ray tonight. That was early. Nightmare Creatures for the win, boy! I think this is the Aleister Crowley boss fight from the end of the game. I think that was this boss fight. And I like how they chop it up a little bit more when you get into kind of the verse section of it. Like, they add more guitar scratches to it. This soundtrack, let me tell you what, man, always puts me in a good mood. Nightmare Creatures always puts me in a good mood. Always. Always. Dude, yeah, people slept on Nightmare Creatures. It was an Activision game. They didn't put a whole lot of, like... Oh, yeah, this part. Hold on, let me turn it back up for you. Turn it back up for you. Yo, this is... And then the organ comes in here at the end. They just keep adding layers to it. Dude. Like, and what's really cool about this boss fight is like you're scratching and clawing. Like the whole game to get to this guy, he keeps just getting away from you, just getting away from you, just getting away from you. You finally get him at the end, you know, you're done. You get rid of Aleister Crowley, and then you find out it wasn't really him. Oh man, it's so dope. It's so dope. But yeah, man, like Nightmare Creatures goated soundtrack. Goated. Anyway. That was my tangent for the night. Yeah, Shadow Star, it's awesome. But there is emotion in that if you play the game. Like it really brings like the use of metal for that boss fight where it's not really present through. There's only 2 other tracks in the game that have like a metal aspect to it. But when you get to that boss fight at the end of the game, there's so much frustration by just not getting him, and then when you get to him and it picks up and you hear that gung gung, like it has this sense of finality to it. And it's like you feel it, like when you're in the boss fight with him, you feel like this is the end. Like you're feeling it through the music, you're feeling it. There are way more emotions than just like sympathetic compassion and, you know, fleeting feelings of passion and stuff. Like there's also anger and aggression, and that is what that brings out at the end of Nightmare Creatures. So it is heavy with emotion. It is heavy with the feeling of elation, like, oh, getting this done, getting this off my chest, I'm getting this out, you know. It's cathartic. It's very cathartic at the end of the game when that's playing and you're fighting him. Yeah. Yeah, Microsoft would have to, like, that would be an Xbox call now, and I don't trust Xbox to go check the mail. Like, I don't trust them to manage the thermostat, you know. So that's how I feel about Microsoft right now. I'm gonna take a quick break, give me something to drink, get a little snack. I'll be right back in just a few. Don't go anywhere. If you do, get you something tasty, get you something to drink, and come join me here in 2 minutes. All right. Yeah, we need to complete Xenogears 2. We need, like, the whole game. We need the finished game, not just the, all the loaded sequences, what was it, the loaded, story sequence flats from the end of it. We need, like, the full game. Like, that would be brilliant if they could do that. Like, I've had a lot of people message me, ask me if I'm going to play Rebirth again on Switch 2. I'm like, nah, man, I'm not playing Rebirth again on Switch 2. I know it's looking promising. I know they've got a lot of cool quality of life things they're doing with the Switch 2 port of it, but I don't think I'm going to go through Rebirth again on that. I've still got my other game I'm trying to finish right now. Legend of Dragoon. Yeah, like, people have been wanting a Dragoon remake for a long time. I'd take a Vagrant Story remake over Legend of Dragoon, but Legend of Dragoon's good too. I like them both. Funny story about the Nightmare Creatures soundtrack. When I released my horror novel Derelict back in 2019, we had thought about doing a audiobook for it. Never got around to it, but I actually had Frederick Mott's blessing, the composer of Nightmare Creatures, to use this score for the audiobook. So he was going to let me use it. He has the rights to it. It's his. He was going to let me do it, and I never got it. Couldn't get it made. Couldn't get it done, man. But someday if we do it, I will use this soundtrack for it. We get through all the Aurora stuff, and then we get through all this Aurora stuff I'm working on. I'm hoping to get back to working on book 2 of Derelict next summer. I'd love to have it ready to go, ready to release in 2027. I got some really cool ideas I've jotted down for it, but we'll see. We'll see. Yeah, I don't know how far down the line Square Enix is going to go on remaking all their stuff. I'm not really sure. Let me ask you all, how is the stream looking right now? It looks a little choppy on my end. Like, I'm looking at the playback side of things, and it looks a little choppy. I'll make sure you all aren't getting like a bad stream on your end from me. May have to make an adjustment. Okay, I see. I think I see what's happening. Let me see. Settings. Choppy, thank you. Stream. Output. For some reason it's not putting out enough, okay. Let's try that. For some reason it's not putting out my full threshold. I'm looking at like what's going on, what's running in the background, what's causing this to happen. Hang on, let me check a few things real quick. Let me look. Okay, I think I figured it out. Give me just a second. All right, let me give that a minute or so to kind of buffer out. Let's see. Huh. Okay. Yeah, something's going on with my internet connection right now. So let me see if I can't make a couple more adjustments here. Yeah, the audio is probably fine, but the video shouldn't be choppy. All right. Yeah, I don't know why it's so bad right now. It's just really bad. I don't know what the deal is with it. That's kind of aggravating. I was thinking something might be running in the background, but... Well... That's a bummer. Well... I guess we can still converse. I was getting ready to switch over to playing a video game, but... I was getting ready to switch over to playing tactics, but... I can't do that with a real choppy feed. That would not be good. Yeah, I'd have to restart the stream. And plus, if I power cycle my Mac, it could take a while for it to come back on. Yeah, I don't know. Hang on a second. I'm gonna stop the stream, but I'll be right back.